was really the precursor and the foreshadowing that the internet was going to change the way that music was discovered and distributed. Cassie was a MySpace artist. So we put our music on MySpace. We, came up with a Google hack. So everyone who searched MySpace, the keyword would end up on her MySpace music profile. And she went from 0 to 650,000 friends in 3 months. Sometimes that happens, and I think we've been looking at that happening potentially on social media now, and Instagram. Somebody does something viral and then they get a bunch of followers. What we realized, though, is that MySpace just disappeared and we didn't have phone numbers on all those people. So 650,000 friends. She also was the first artist in history to have a 1-to-1 correlation between social following and sales. 650,000 albums sold and 650,000 friends.
That never happens.
Wow. That never happens.
Yeah, that definitely don't happen. Now, these people be having 16 million
people
followers.
People be so mad.
Twitter.
They're like, I have all these followers. How come they didn't buy my record?
That would be great if they had a 1-to-1.
Stop. Don't click off. I know some of y'all be clicking off. Don't click off. I want to give you 3 ways to make sure that you ain't Cassie and this don't happen to you. And Leslie talking about how Cassie sold 650,000 albums when she had 650,000 followers. I want you to pay attention to the fact that he said growth hack. He had to growth hack a way to make sure that Cassie got seen in the MySpace world, and they were able to do this on Google back in the day. It was very early because people weren't that educated on growth hacks, and he growth hacked a way where when people search for MySpace, Cassie populated under the SEO for MySpace at the top, which got her 650,000 fans. That is amazing. You got to be looking at ways to growth hack what you have going on as well. You can't try to walk through the front door and have a dope song and it gets sent to a A&R who loves you, who sends it to a VP who loves you, who sends it to the president who loves you, who sends it to Jay-Z who loves you, and who's going to come onto the remix, and your song's going to blow up, you're going to go #1, you're going to be worth $100 million. It doesn't work like that. You got to find ways to growth hack. My entire marketing strategy is growth hacking. The reason I got these iTunes charts, as y'all can see, first video while I'm filming this, that's growth hacking for me to get that. The way I built my Instagram and my YouTube, I'm growth hacking. What is your growth hack? You got to figure out what you want your growth hack to be, because if you try to compete in the traditional marketing spaces, you're going to spend a shit ton of money and you're not going to get that far. Now, here are 3 ways to make sure that this, what happened to Cassie, doesn't happen to you. What happened to Cassie? Once MySpace went to shit, what happened was you lost all that data because you weren't keeping track. Ryan Leslie did not know who those 650,000 followers are. So the first thing that he should have done, and what you need to do, make sure that you have a website where Facebook Pixel is installed. Why is this important? You don't own Instagram. You don't own YouTube. You don't own TikTok. You don't own Snap. You don't own Facebook. You don't own Spotify. You don't own any of that stuff. But you do own your website when you buy it. So you got to make sure you have some sort of real estate in this social media game. And the website, that's your crib. When you have Facebook Pixel installed, what Facebook Pixel does is it makes sure that it tracks every single person who goes to your website. So that way you can retarget ads to them later. So make sure you have a website, Facebook Pixel's installed. Number 2, you gotta have an email list. Now you got people on your website, you wanna make sure you develop that relationship a little bit further. So you need to build an email list because that's another way to communicate with them. So on your website, have a pop-up where people are coming in and they're giving their emails for something, which is going to get us to number 3 in a minute. But you got to collect that list. That list is so valuable because some of us have had the same emails for 10, 15, 20 years at this point. Some of them we don't check anymore, but some we still check every single day. And you and I have both been in the same situation where you kept getting that email from StockX, or you kept getting that email from Macy's about some sale, and you kept deleting them, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but they happened to hit you on Thursday when your direct deposit hit at 10 p.m., that email popped up and you went and bought some shit. That ain't social media. That ain't run no ads. That was an email. You gotta have an email list so you can stay connected to your fans no matter what platform you go. At least you know you got that email. And lastly, finally, the third thing you got to do, you got to make sure you give away something for free. People do not just want to voluntarily give up their information. They don't want to do that. So you got to give them something of value that's going to make you give their personal information like an email. What should this be? It should be an ebook, at least for me. At group82music.com, we have a free ebook in exchange for your email, how to get 1 million streams on Spotify. You ain't got that, you an artist, need to go do that. At group82media.com, we have a free ebook. 3 social media strategies that actually work. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to know better social media strategies, go download that free ebook. So we give you the ebook, you give us our email. That ebook's going to give you something that's probably going to help you make some money. That email is valuable to us because now we can market to you in future campaigns. It establishes a relationship. It establishes a rapport. It's a win-win for everybody. These are the things you need to do so that way you don't get jammed up like Ryan, Leslie, and Cassie did because they didn't have a plan. What's your plan? Do you have trouble figuring out what your website should be about? Do you not know how to set up the email stuff? Do you don't even know what your ebook should be about? That's why we're here and we offer the services. You an artist, head over to group82music.com, purchase one of our packages. You at group82media.com, put your email to that box, let me know what you got going on. We'll be able to work out something for you. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
Twitter say, hey, everybody shoot me a text. There were 35,000 people that texted in. The first response that everyone got, and whether you're texting, you texted me for the first time or you see any of these other celebs, I mean, they're now 6-7 years later, everybody finally caught on, you know what I'm saying? Visionary. But the first response is, it needs to be automated, right? And so for you to be able to manage the scale. And that first response is always, thanks for texting. I would love to know who you are. So please, put your information in my phone, right? Because I'm not going to type everybody's information. Yeah. So here's a form you can actually put your information in my phone so I know who's even texting me. At that point, the difference, I would say, between my 2013 campaign and the campaigns that I'm seeing now is that there was a very specific intent captured at the initiation of the conversation. So I didn't just say, hey, here's my number, shoot me a text, what's up? I said, look, shoot me a text to get my new album. So they shot me a text. I already know the reason they're texting is to get my new album.
They want the product.
What's your information? Once I have the information, here's a link to get the album. Once that intent is captured, then you have an incredibly high conversion rate. So 1 out of every 2, about 17,000 people actually bought that record. They bought it for $10. That's 170,000, right? The difference, though, is that I now have a Rolodex, a record, a ledger of every single person that's willing to actually spend money with me directly. So now, not only do I have names, not only do I have emails, not only do I have telephone numbers, I have city and state and country information. So now I'm going on tour.
Got the real goal.
You're going on tour. People go to concerts because it is a social experience. So, yeah, you might go to the concert if none of your friends want to go. You still figure out a way you go by yourself, but you're still in a room with a bunch of people. You guys are connected by the fact that you appreciate the artist that's on stage. For me, in that situation, even though only 17,000 people in my phone actually bought my record, they all brought a friend or 2 or 3 or 5 to the concerts. When I announced them, we sold 40,000 tickets at 60 euros a ticket. You could do the math.
That's
there.
like 5 albums right there.
Voila. And so it's really just, and like I said, there's obviously ancillary income that happens from that. There's publishing revenue and merchandise, etc. For me, I really prefer digital goods because there's a cost of goods when you have merchandise, and there's a cost of inventory, there's a cost of shipping. And so digital goods for me have always been my preference, just because they have unlimited scale, and as long as you're delivering value, hopefully your content is going to be evergreen. And so that's why I always remind an artist that even though you may feel like your music is outdated to you, it's actually brand new for the person who's hearing it for the first time. And the reality is that even if you went platinum, there is still a large number of people around the world who have yet to have even heard your record one time. So you have the ability in music, which is always why I say, look, just create the best music you possibly can, because great music is evergreen, you know?
Yeah.
No real feedback.
Nothing.
You're doing it because you love it. And at the end of 11 projects, you get to 1,000 followers?
Yes. Pathetic. I know. It's pathetic. But I'll say this. So at the end of 11 projects, I'm at 1,000 followers on Twitter, right? But I had this fucking, I mean, Colts fan base sounds fucking insane. You have 1,000 followers. But I had some kids in Tumwater, Washington, right? High school kids who were fans, who like called me and were like, man, we love your shit. And my uncle is a promoter and like, you can do a show out here. And I was like, sick. I was like, but like, I'm broke. I can't get out there. I don't have anywhere to stay. So this kid, Tanner, Tumwater, Washington, he flew me out, right? And my friends came out with me. I think they paid for their own shit. They figured it out. And we stayed in his house. And we did a show in Tumwater, Washington. My first ever headline show is in Tumwater, Washington for like 50 high school kids. And it was lit. I thought that shit was fucking awesome.
To the first-time rapper. First of all, it's tax half. Yeah, that's $500,000 right then and there. Boom. So now all you got is $500,000 left. The first thing you got to do is get a nice car. My truckity truck. And there's $100,000. Now you got 4 left. You got to get your jewelry game up. And things are costing a lot lately. LA necklaces. So let's say you spend $100 on the low ball side. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to keep up with everyone else. So now you got, what, $300,000 left. You got to get a place to live, and you don't have good credit because you're just coming from the street. So you got to drop more than 20%. I'm at home, baby. So now you got about $250 left. Now your homeboys think you got way more than you have, and you got to look out for everybody on your block. So put 50 to that. You got to keep your fresh together. I love my Gucci fits. They telling me. So you're going to spend 50 on fresh. Your sneakers, you got to pop tags every single day. So put 50 on that.
Get you a pair of these right here.
You have an overhead where you have to maintain all these things every month. So now you might have 20,000 in bills every single day. You know what I'm saying? And there it is. It's gone. There's no more money. It's a wrap. Your million is nothing.
Basically brought us the whole idea of doing the McDonald's jingle. When he brought it to us, he gave us the "I'm loving it," tagline.
Yeah.
And we basically just wrote to that.
So you just wrote da.
No. No. But within that, they just took pieces out, whatever the case may be. And
I feel like McDonald's shouldn't have wanted to work with this guy.
But no. And
Steven Victor again.
And they got over. Like they got over. Pay a one-time payout.
Oof.
One-time payout.
Wow.
I said that.
You're the union. Oof.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wasn't hip. Half. What was it? Like a half. Me and my brother gave me and my brother a half. Half $1,000,000.
Oh, that's a pretty good payout, though.
No.
What?
It's now.
You're right.
No, it is not.
Saying now.
I can see. I just mean to say, at the time, I see why you were like, oh yeah, whatever.
But I own 40% of the Arby's commercial now.
We hate Arby's.
It doesn't matter.
Who goes to Arby's?
Wait, hold on. We have the meats as you?
Yeah, we own that.
What? Get out of here.
All right.
That is the most.
Victor's got to call in, buddy.
Rappers from these cities who poppin', ain't poppin', who come on here talking that big boy stuff. It's like, if rapping stop right now, a lot of y'all going broke. A lot of y'all gonna be broke. It's like, what you gonna do now? Like, I got my own trucking company, own real estate company, like.
Wait. This is actually interesting. You have your own trucking company.
Yes.
How many trucks?
Oh, we started off with 2. We got like 8 or 9.
You got 9, the big rigs?
Yes, 18-wheelers.
Really?
Yes.
This is dope, because, I actually have an Instagram page called Vlad Stocks, where we talk about, financial literacy and investing and stuff like that. And I feel like this is something that hip-hop doesn't really push.
They're not going to push it.
Yeah, because hip-hop pushes consumption.
That's why you got to study, like, when Jay-Z be talking, like, Drake, Jay-Z, Who else big like on the like a voice?
In terms of what, like how to handle money and so forth.
Like Diddy.
Yeah.
It's like some people look past that. They don't be making the motivation videos for nothing. Like 50. Like they make real videos to show you like that's what I'm doing. It ain't to shit on you. It's to motivate you, know what I'm saying? And I done watched a couple of them videos and locked into it like, damn, I need my own real estate company. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard, just going out to do it.
Okay, so you have your own trucking company with 9 trucks. And you guys basically just contract out to people that need shit moved, like Amazon or whoever else?
Like you gotta like sign up for it and like hope they pick you up. Like I'm saying, you gotta get picked up for it. Then you push the trucks to them. You get drivers. It can be anybody. But you gotta have the right drivers. Like, I don't want no motherfucker who get high, who off any type of drugs, who drink all day to be on the road. My shit, you feel me?
On the phone, and he talked to me for hours. And that information meant everything. He was third person. He was Kanye West's gateway drug to business. Because before that, it was always like, you an artist, you a rapper. We love you for the music, yay. Don't think about nothing. Don't think about business, blah, 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 blah. And I would just, the thing we was talking about before when we talk about Obama and Trump in the other room, we talk about trust me. Like, I would just trust the manager. Let them do everything. Let them handle everything. Let them handle, let them hire your business manager or this and that. And you get a manager on manager on manager. And then it becomes one big racket where it's like the tour guy is talking to the label guy, is talking to the manager, is talking to the guy that sold you the house, and talking to blah, and then you're just trapped. You're not in control of your life anymore. And at that point, you could be easily manipulated. A whole album with Paul McCartney can end up becoming a single for Rihanna because, you're trapped in this box of the idea of your perception, music industry, this, that. So the funny thing I knew I wanted to say in this situation is like, Scooter Braun is Kanye West's gateway drug to business and maybe the death of the music industry as we know it.
Really?
Yeah. Why? Because artists are businesses. We're not just artists. Artists shouldn't have managers. Artists should have CEOs. That's how I feel. I didn't put no thought in that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who's going to have a problem with that statement. I'm going to say how I feel. So that means...
John's case, I'll break it all the way down for you. We started together in this basement. You know what I'm saying? And when I actually received the check from the deal with Interscope, and he see everybody reaching at my pockets, and he's doing it too. Because they're thinking it's just what they're supposed to do, like the business. And then I get a call from Chris. Chris tell me, yo, what we gonna do about Shy? I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, he trying to play me against my man. Because me and Chris was just getting together like that. I'm like, yo, I was closer to Shy than Chris. And he's like, no, he's asking about how to charge for studio time. And I'm like, well, what's the studio bill? His light bill? So when I paid the $50,000, check this out, he asked for $50,000. I said, yo, don't take $50,000, take $30,000 in a point. Mind you, the point was worth $1.3 million.
Damn.
I sold 13 million records on that album. So it's like, take 30,000, take 1.3, 30. Right. Instead of 50,000. And then when we come back to the lawyer's office, he says, yeah, I spoke to 50. He said the 50 was cool. I go, there was only 2 options. He said 50,000, give him the 50,000. I give you the 50,000 cash in singles right now, because he didn't understand what he was doing at that point. Then the lawyer goes, no, listen, can I say something to him? Can I just say something to him, because I don't think he understands exactly what he's actually doing. I go in the other room, he come back, he said, okay, I'll take the 30,000 in the point, because the lawyer was like, I'll give you 20,000 for the point right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take this. And then he was like, all right, because he thought I was trying to give him less money.
Right.
But
when
really
I said 30 versus
more.
the 50, but I'm giving him $1.3 million.
Think long term, baby.
Yeah.
But did he know that the album was going to sell as much? Had it already sold 13 million, or was that in anticipation of what?
That was the way it sold.
It hadn't sold.
Yeah, give it to
So he had no idea what
I
was
would have
going to
rolled
happen.
those dice on that.
So he had no idea how the album was going to sell, and he wanted that sure 20,000.
At that point,
Was in the club out yet?
Yeah, the record was getting ready to go, but he heard everything.
Right. Okay.
So
You heard the
now,
album and everything. Yeah.
I paid the most he ever got paid for a track on the Bloodhound record. Paid the $50,000, the $30,000 in the point for the actual recording time. So at that point, in my mind, he had been paid for all of his services. Because there's nothing that you didn't get paid for that you can think of. You don't thought of everything you can come get money from me for. So now I go after the record sells. Well, we was at like $9 million at that point. Interscope gives me $15 million for unit record. Now when I get it, I go, like, you're not my partner. Like, you've been paid for all of your services.